It is February 2017, and Darren Van Tassel is about to give the second press conference of the year, revealing the schedule for the second year PDL soccer club Tormenta FC.
That Tormenta is Spanish for storm, and FC means football club, and the reason that, on our scarves we have the ibis flying in front of the storm clouds in the water is because the ibis is an animal unique to our region, that is known for its bravery, that it's the last animal to retreat from a storm and the first animal to reappear.
The ibis is a perfect metaphor for Darren Van Tassel and his vision for Statesboro. Being a former three-time Olympian, Van Tassel has taken his international experience and has applied that to being a pioneer in Statesboro.
We played for the bronze medal game, and then I helped run the games as a technical director in Athens in 2004. And in Beijing, I got the really unique opportunity to serve as the competition director, or the commissioner, if you will, of the entire baseball event. It was really those experiences that I said we can do in Statesboro.
And Van Tassel has brought bits and pieces of the Olympic Village to Statesboro. Over the course of the year, Tormenta FC has become a home for its players, granted bragging rights for its fans, and has amassed a nucleus of staff and community support to ensure success. One of the newest and strongest additions to the Tormenta staff is new head coach John Miller AC.
There are a lot of connections that brought me here. Most notably, of course, my affinity for this area, the passion that the Van Tassel family has for growing this community and using the vehicle of a PDL franchise to really bring this community together and then grow something very special. So you can just sense the passion and the energy that Darren has for this and this organization has for growing something that's already very special. So my job coming in now is to enhance that and get us winning.
Sports is about winning, isn't it? And the reason we do that, listen, the big thing is the big thing. The main thing is the main thing, and that's winning championships.
Winning. Tormenta in its first season was able to enjoy 6-5 and 3 winning inaugural season. However, with only 5 days of an actual preseason and players only living together for 3 months, PDL coaches have a bigger challenge than most.
It's a challenge, but it's a beautiful challenge at the same time, because you're going to take 4 guys and put them in an apartment complex, and 3 of them may come from different countries, and they all share a meal together, breakfast, and they share a team meal 2 times a day with guys from all over the world. That's really the beautiful, complex thing of the PDL. You get this 2.5 to 3 month window to really pour into a group, but also, when I mentioned earlier about culture, we want them influencing each other. So when you talk about guys that are coming from Brazil, living with a guy that grew up in Africa, or you get a player that grew up and is playing here in the U.S. and maybe be playing at Georgia Southern, yet he's rooming with someone that's playing at Division II from Florida. There's all kinds of knowledge to be shared and experiences to be had there. And I think as a coaching staff, we got to have our junk together. We got to know exactly every minute of training is going to be planned out. We need to know our personnel by developing relationships with them even now. Through the next several months, we're going to be in touch with every single player, building some momentum coming into preseason. I think how effective we are of hitting the ground and sprinting, not just jogging or running, but sprinting effectively and efficiently, will make a difference early in the season.
Tormenta FC is a PDL team led by a 3-time Olympian, composed of players from all over the world and coached by a wily veteran. This team, with such a grand story and unrelenting momentum, oddly calls the small town of Statesboro, Georgia, its welcome home.
What's my excitement and my expectations? They don't have any limit. Great teams can come from anywhere. And, our mantra is almost always, why not here?
Other teams in the PDL are in relatively bigger cities: Atlanta, Charlotte, Miami, Seattle, which leaves many to ask the question of teams with such a high ceiling, why Statesboro?
Why not? Why not Statesboro? I mean, when you look at the leagues the teams in our league. Okay, so you look at Charlotte, for instance. Charlotte traditionally in the past 2 years has done very well. Well, they're the Panthers. There's another professional team, the Independents, in town. They've got a hockey team. And so when they won the league championship, I think 2 years ago, or maybe even last year, they're on the back page because there's such a competitive market for any kind of sports story. And I think here, we are at the right time in between seasons of football and baseball and the traditional sports here in the U.S., but also there's a lot of civic pride in this community, and that's really the ticket in the PDL. It's not how big your city is, it's the quality of your product and how many people can get excited about it. And for us, in a town like Statesboro, that lead attendance, when we've got towns like Atlanta, Charlotte, Wilmington, Columbia, South Carolina, Johnson City, bigger markets, and we're leading them. That says a lot for what we're doing. And I think having that civic pride and having that kind of that small town romance that Statesboro has, I think it works beautifully.
First ever meeting between two expansion teams, Peachtree City and Tormenta, as we've just been handed the attendance figure, 2,761. So just shy of the 3,000 mark, but still a fabulous crowd here tonight, and it came after experiencing a 90-minute weather delay. So Eddie, everybody stuck around.
Tormenta doesn't exist without this town. And so Statesboro has this history of doing that. Savannah and South Georgia have that history of supporting their teams. Tormenta is able to be a part of that and to borrow. We don't have to recreate a fan base. We're getting people to learn more and more about us. And so that part's fun and enjoyable and exciting. And you better believe it's rewarding when 3,000 people are at a home game, giving the other goalkeeper grief because they're behind the goal, heckling and chanting, all in good fun and good along the way. And yeah, that's exciting. People like to play in those settings.
A strong sense of community combined with time and opportunity makes Statesboro not only a location for a PDL team, but it's a destination of choice for players and coaches alike.
This town's awesome. I mean, it's just really different from where I grew up, and even West Virginia. The people here are super sweet. It's just really cool to be in a place that I've never been before. It's quiet here, which I like, but when it's game day and stuff, everyone just out of nowhere shows up, and it's super loud, and it's awesome. I love it here. I love it.
The whole town, as you and I call it, Happyville. Every time we come in town, people are so pumped about this new team, this new franchise. It's just, you can't stop and think, this is truly the model for the future to come for some of these PDL teams.
I think it's so easy to forget and take for granted that players have a journey and they want to come play for teams, yes, but they also want to come to cities. We're able to attract players because of the things that Statesboro and South Georgia do very well. They're not here because they couldn't get in with a Seattle or a Chicago along the way. They came here because they wanted that sort of community involved.
I came down here to bring the Southern West Virginia Kings Warriors. I got an opportunity to see what Tormenta FC is all about. Just the community coming out in droves to support them on a ridiculously hot day. My team had been playing and practicing in West Virginia, Appalachian Mountains with cool, crisp air at 60 degrees, and we get off the bus and it's 95 plus and gnats, and that's a home field advantage. But also just the energy level that the home field provided for my team, even as a visiting team, let me really see the class act that Tormenta FC is really, and the standard that they're holding themselves to, which is fantastic. So for me, when I got the phone call that, hey, we were very interested in you coming down to take over, it was a quick look at my wife and I was like, yeah, I think this is the next step for us.
Tormenta FC has the largest audience of any PDL team, and their fans locally and abroad help tell their story.
Just getting started, and we had averaged over 2,000 people a game. We're pushing 14, 15, 20,000 people. We just came back from some meetings in Atlanta where we were meeting with folks in the governor's office and the state legislative folks and our friends there. Tormenta FC is much bigger than just Statesboro also. Well, you can measure this by the number of people that come to games. We can measure it by the hits we get on social media, which we're in the millions last year in terms of media impressions. We can also measure it by one 12-year-old who grows up in Statesboro, who the last thing he sees every night before he goes to bed, he covers himself up in a blanket that has the Tormenta FC shield on it. That's priceless. Okay, that is MasterCard priceless. And those are the rewarding moments about what we do. That the pressure of winning is a privilege. The pressure of performing is a privilege. And the discipline to control and being steady and being consistent in what we do, I want that to be the mantra. I want that to be the vision of the franchise, because I think that's where real growth comes from.
Growth. That's the perfect word for Tormenta's first season.
It's a big day. It was like bringing your children out and letting the neighborhood see them for a long time. And you know, the neighborhood was celebrating the birth, but they hadn't seen any of our children yet. But we also gave birth and went through a graduation within about 2 months. And that's a fast, really hectic pace.
And hectic pace was right.
And the goal to get Carolina. Environments in the past.
Environments, yes.
I'm sure. Tough play right there, and a goal by Carolina. Since talking to Coach Freakley and company that this week they really want a win. It is time to score goals and win games, period.
Got some subs?
Lorenzano puts it up, nearly a goal, and there you go. Peachtree City gets one on the board as Ian Smith, right place, right time. It's 1-0.
After failing to score in the first 3 games, Tormenta FC found itself winless and in desperation for a goal. And their next game against the SC Bantas served as the perfect team for Tormenta to finally get that first score.
Buddy, great to have you with us. I'm Drew Felios alongside Eddie Rodriguez. Eddie, 4th game for Tormenta FC. This is a big night, still looking for that first goal and that first win.
That's right, Drew. Talk about putting it together. I think tonight's the night for the Tormenta FC. One thing I can guarantee you, that the coaching staff for the Tormenta FC have done their job during the week. We talked to both coaches. They've gone strictly offensive. They need to score some goals, and I think tonight's when we're going to see it.
In space. Roberts. Now trying to get it to the center. Set up a shot. The angle is there. Off the post and in.
That night, Tormenta saw its goal get called back not only once,
so far in the second half. Pass left there, and now another chance. Rittmeyer!
but twice.
Offsides once again. The second half, corner kick from
And suffered yet again another defeat.
in the danger zone, trying to kick it out, and it'll be a goal. South Carolina United able to cash in on the set.
We tied our first game. In soccer, a tie is great. You get a point. We were on the road, and that was great. And then we went on to, the next 4 games. We hadn't scored a goal yet. So we're going into game 5 of the season. We need something good to happen.
And something good did happen. Tormenta scored its first goal and won its first game against top-ranked PDL franchise Charlotte Eagles.
Yeah, we were on the road playing Charlotte Eagles. Now, remind you, Charlotte is probably the top-ranked PDL franchise in the league, former USL team. They rarely lose, and they rarely lose at home, and they are really professionally run. So we were on the road, got our first goal. I was with my wife. She hugged me longer than I hugged her, and we both hugged a long time. And then we just to sort of hold on, and to get that second goal was just an enormous thrill. And I think the thing I will remember that was the 60, 70, 80 fans, which is a lot when you're on the road and in a first-year franchise. Nobody wanted to leave the field. We were all in the stadium. We took a big group picture with all the players. I think that's sort of the magic that comes with community-driven athletic teams. And it makes me smile thinking about it now.
The team as a whole had a lot more to smile about.
By Eli Dent. An opportunity. They send it back, the shot, and the goal! Up as they go into the middle, and the goal!
We got that first win, and then we got hot. We won 5 in a row.
Every time you get in there,
There's another one!
personally would not change the goalkeeper.
Nice run there, Sam Lofts, there it is! It's gonna be Whiteley, there's the cross, and another goal! Eli Dent!
Last year in their first season in the PDL, they struggled in the first, I think, 4 or 5 games. And then they caught on and caught up some speed and made a late run for it.
We finished 6-5-3 with 3 ties. Being able to say we've never had a losing season in franchise history is terrific after year 1. It'll be even more terrific after year 10. But nobody in sports is ever satisfied. I mean, unless you win the whole thing, no one's satisfied. And so 1 more point, 1 more goal, we would have made it to the playoffs and been in the Open Cup this year. So the hunger remains, and I think we have a group of players and people on the front office who get that and know it. And May 13th is not that far away. I wish it was next week. But of course it clearly is important to be able to say that a winning record matters, because everybody wants to be part of winners and to be part of championships. I hope every single year it feels fresh. I hope, and that's the thing that comes with sports, isn't it? Every year, hope springs eternal.
Tormenta's first season of growth has established a strong foundation, and it's because of this foundation that Tormenta has a bright future ahead of it.
First, want to recognize the South Georgia Tormenta on being a model franchise within the PDL, and also acquiring the Rookie Franchise of the Year for 2016. Nothing that you hear today would have been possible without the vision of Darren Van Tassel and his team. And in the first season, the Tormenta has raised the level of performance within the PDL, and there is nothing that this group can't do. The city of Statesboro is very fortunate to have a professionally run club like Tormenta operate within its community. And Tormenta is also very fortunate to have not only the support of the city, but also have the support of Georgia Southern and the nearby fans that come out to every game. It is my pleasure to announce that the 2017 PDL Eastern Conference Championship will be hosted right here in the city of Statesboro and by your South Georgia Tormenta. On behalf of the league, we're so excited to have the event here with the facilities of Georgia Southern, the operational capabilities of the Tormenta, and the overwhelming fan support that we've seen here. We know that this is going to be an event you will not want to miss. So in conclusion, I want to thank the Tormenta on being such a great organization and congratulate the city of Statesboro for being the location of the 2017 PDL Eastern Conference Championship held July 21st through the 23rd.
In addition to hosting the Eastern Conference Championship, Tormenta FC has been doing a lot in the offseason to offer in a new season.
Pleased to announce, in addition to our coaching staff, Andrea Borsa comes to us from Italy with a long, distinguished playing career in Serie A and playing professional soccer in Europe, most notably with AS Roma with his longtime teammate and good friend, Francesco Totti, which for soccer fans really know what a big deal that is. Andrea joins us this summer as part of our staff with Tormenta FC, and bringing that expertise, that extra little insight to what it means to play at the very highest of levels of soccer in the world is a really big source of how we're going to keep growing our club and giving those our experience with our players. Andrea is currently with Calcio Grottaferrata, which is just outside of Rome in Italy. He has worked with youth players there for a better part of the last few years, in addition to when he's no longer been playing with professional soccer. He'll be joining us this summer. We signed a friendship agreement in the fall when our staff traveled to Italy and met firsthand with his club. It's one way in which our communities are going to be growing those ties together, but it's also a great time and a great way for our mission statement, Pros Start Here, to really bring in one of those top professional coaches around the world. And he'll be joining us right here in Statesboro in May.
Tormenta has grown and future looks brighter than ever. However, at its core, it's not Tormenta's partnerships or championships that ensure its success. It's family.
There is a family atmosphere here that I'm looking for. I'm not just looking, as I mentioned before, just to be all business all the time. There is a lot of people that have put so much time and energy into making this work in such a short time. And in order for this to survive, there's got to be a family type atmosphere. And absolutely, the Van Tassels and the organization has set a tone for that. That's something very important to me, because I think it's for us to have long-term sustainability, we've got to be able to hold each other together and hold each other up. And I think the culture that's being developed here is definitely family oriented, and I felt incredibly welcome in the past month.
I hope that our family, though, is always bigger than just our players. It's our media that follows us. They're not just reporters covering us, but they're also our fans. They're our season ticket holders. They're the people that follow us online but who've never been to a game. If you're going to be serious about being in the sports business, you got to be serious about all of those things. You have to treat folks with respect, whether it's the media, the journalists, your players. And when you do that, I think people want to be around you. And yeah, I can't wait till the 2017 family shows up here early May.
The family and future of Tormenta FC will start their next chapter on May 13th, 2017. Tormenta will have the opportunity to build their family, bolster their legacy, and cement their culture on the PDL. From record-setting fans to stunning PDL staples, Tormenta FC is the storm in Statesboro.